Hello Gems, Leah from Red Emerald Yoga. Welcome to today's reading. This is going to be a reading for the full moon in Gemini. So right now we have Mars, which is aligned with the sun. So this full moon is going to be intense. And as you may have already noticed, a little bit extra emotional. You may notice that fuses are short, tempers may be flaring over tiny little things that don't need to be so extra. This is a great time to remember to take pause, breathe, and meditate. So today we're going to be using Witchy Cat Tarot, which is a new deck that I just got in. I really love it. We're also going to be using Yasmin Boland's Moonology deck. So go ahead and choose a pile that resonates with you. This is pile 1. Pile 2. And pile 3. All right, go ahead and jump down to the timestamp below and I will see you in your reading. If you have selected pile 1, just stay put and we'll get right into it. Hello, pile 1. If you have selected this stone, this reading is for you. Let's begin. Card 1. This is how can I stay grounded? Here we have the Chariot. And I love how he's just really sitting here. It doesn't matter how fast he's going. He's just got his hands on his seat. His feet are flat on the floor and he's looking forward. He's not really getting distracted no matter what's going on outside, no matter how big it is or how spectacular, it's not distracting him. He's got his eye on the prize. He's maintaining his focus. How can I remain in my power? Here we have Justice. I think you can remain in your power by making inspired decisions, really weighing the scales before making a decision, before taking action, and understanding that all actions will have an equal reaction. And really weighing the scales, like, is this what the path I want to take? Because if I do this, this is going to be the result. This is going to be a potential outcome. Even when you're having interactions with others, your dealings with people are fair. You're treating people the way that they should be treated. How can I find my breath when I feel my temper flare? Here we have the 6 of Cups in the reverse. And I feel like this card is thinking back to your past. This very well may be your parents, or this could be a time when you found yourself in a similar situation. Okay, and I feel like this card is saying, how did you feel when you had to witness behavior like what you're about to unleash? How did you feel in that situation? Or if you were on the receiving end, how did it feel when I was told something like this? Did it make me feel good? Did it make me want to make the situation better? You know, like, I feel like this is drawing upon your own past experiences. Card 4. How can I keep my cool when the people around me are not acting in accordance with their higher self? Here we have the 7 of Cups. I love how she's just opening this door, and it looks like a closet to me, but like all of these clouds, you know, and I feel like you have so many options available to you, and these are your responses. You can choose any number of ways to respond. Some responses will reward you. Some responses might come back to bite you in the ass. And other responses, like, I don't know, is that good? Is that scary? I don't know. But so I feel like this is saying choose carefully. And you're not limited in your response. You're not limited in your reaction. You have the choice. You hold the power. How do you choose to respond when people around you are behaving badly? Card 5. How can I have healthy conversations with others? Here we have the 2 of Swords. I love it. So this is absinthe. At least it is in my understanding of this deck. When I'm working with this is absinthe. So this is not like the modern day absinthe that you can buy. This is like from a long time ago. Whether it's true or not, what they say about it. So absinthe in small doses was hallucinogenic. Okay, and in large doses, it could harm you, it could cause seizures, it could cause, it could kill you, it could make you do crazy things. It was actually banned because a guy drank some absinthe and then he went home and he murdered his family. Okay, I'm not saying that you're gonna do that, but I feel like that is really being reflected in this card. And the one cat is drinking and one cat is not drinking. So I feel like it's like to drink or not to drink, but because it's the 2 of the Swords, it's like to speak or not to speak. Choosing your words carefully and choosing how much to say, like how far do I want to take this when you're having conversations with other people. Like some conversations don't actually need to happen. I think you need to like really analyze the person and the type of conversation you're having with that person. Like some conversations you can have with one group of people and that same conversation will not go over so well. Maybe they won't understand it or it just won't be received. You know what I mean? It's like absinthe. So yeah, really choosing your conversations and your words carefully. To speak or not to speak. Know your audience. Okay, card number 6. What is no longer serving me? Here we have the Hierophant in the reverse. What is no longer serving me? I'm really drawn to these cats' expressions. So I feel like with the Hierophant coming up in this position for what is no longer serving me, I feel like you've already broken free. You've broken away from like some sort of established tradition, some sort of like status quo, the way things are done. But I feel that the way that you have broken away from it, I feel like you kind of have taken it and ran with it. And you might be taking it a little bit too far, a little bit extreme. And I feel like that is no longer serving you. You don't need to do like such an about face. It doesn't need to be like the polar opposite to have broken free from this. I feel like you're really running and you don't need to run with such ferocity anymore. You don't need to go against whatever it is that you are rebelling against so hardcore and intense. That's no longer serving you. How can I release and let go of these energies and attachments? Because I feel like the more like you shove it away, you know, the more it's going to bounce back. It's like when you have like a pendulum, you know, the more you push it back, the harder it's going to come back towards you. And you still have a very strong attachment to what you're trying to get rid of. So how can I release and let go of these energies and attachments? Okay, pile 1. Here we have the Queen of Wands, and I'm just really drawn to the cat in the front. I feel like you may be trying to hide your past, really run from this thing, whatever it is, so hard. But in order to actually release and let go of this energy stronghold on you, you're actually going to have to embrace your shadow. You're going to have to embrace your past and just own it. Like, yes, this is where I came from and this is who I am today. Because of this, I am now this. But it doesn't need to be like you can't make it go away. You can't hide from it. Like if you were to take off right now and run as fast as you could jump on plane, train, or automobile. Oh my gosh. And this person actually looks like they're on a train. If you turn around behind you, your shadow's still going to be right there. You can't outrun it. It'll always be with you. I feel like you have to embrace it. I feel like you have to love yourself in spite of what has happened. You have to love yourself because of what happened. And it doesn't take away from who you are today. You're still this beautiful, blooming person. People still like you. People still love to be around you. You're the Queen of Wands. You're the hostess with the mostest. You don't need to hide. When I release these energies and attachments, this may become available to me. Here we have the Ace of Wands. To me, this kind of gives me, it reminds me of that old movie, what is it? Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. And to me, this is like Baby Jane. And she has issues with her sister. This reminds me of her sister. And it's like, she's like, you're able to rise above what tries to hold you back. You're able to rise above what is ugly. I feel like you're able to move forward. You're finally starting fresh. Like you're the Ace of Wands. You're that spark. Like you get to reinvent yourself, you know? You're rising above where you came from. This next card is advice from the tarot. Here we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. There's a lot going on right here. This lion cat thing is just really charging forward. And this woman cat is just looking at him like, what are you doing? Getting chased by this other one who's about to jump down the banister, and this one's laughing like, here they go again. I feel like this card is just saying, pile one person, slow down. You don't need to charge so fast. I feel like this card is saying, take it easy. Again, think about your words. Think before you act. Think before you speak. Slow down. This says a personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon and Cancer. Let me go to the book and see what this has to say. Page 74. Okay, this says, things are likely to get very heated as full moon in Cancer is a super emotional sign. So there could be something of an explosion of feelings around now or surrounding your question. It's important to be sensitive to other people when you pull this card. There are some very fine sensibilities around, so tread carefully as you move towards your goals or dreams. This card indicates an especially feminine time. It also heralds the time to deal with any family issues coming up. Nothing to worry about. It signals a challenge is now coming to an end. This card also suggests both that a domestic matter or private issue will soon come to a head, and that's a great time to move house. The answer to your question lies in being a kind leader. This is the time for you to step up and agree to overcome your insecurities. Attune to the moon. It may be best to move towards what you want in a sideways manner. Meditate to soothe heightened emotions. Don't be clingy. Stop sulking. Have you had enough family time lately? And it goes on into the teaching. The heightened emotions of the Moon-Cancer combination can't be ignored. However, Cancer is one of the Moon's 2 home signs, along with Taurus, so astrologically speaking, the Moon loves to be in this sign. In fact, she rules Cancer. This means that with this card, there's a sense that all is as it should be, or don't worry, all will be well soon. Okay, so the way that I think that this card is tying into your reading is that things very well may be getting heated. It's just that time with Mars being in alignment with the sun. This isn't an emotional time. And I just feel like this card is tying in with that, you know, how it was talking about being sensitive to other people when you pull this card. And this one over here, like, how did you feel when you were on the receiving end of whatever it is that you're about to unleash into this situation? And then how it talks about this card indicates an especially feminine time. I feel like it may be time to embrace some of that healing yin energy, that yin nature, like right here where it's saying like just to slow down. You don't need to rush in so fast. That would be very yang, charging in, you know, and I feel like with this card saying slow down, take it easy, that would be embracing some of that yin. If family issues arise, you know, don't worry, just take a deep breath, compose yourself, think about what it is that you want to say, and then move forward. Being fair and kind, and remembering that whatever you say, whatever you do is going to have an equally intense reaction. So if you are approaching a situation from love and with kindness, then you're more likely to receive love and kindness. If you come at it with a fiery, like, energy, you're more likely to get that in return. I don't know if you are in the search for a new home, if you are in the process of moving, but this would indicate that that might be a good time for that. If not, then I could definitely see this as a time to organize, really go through, like, and imagine you were packing up, like getting like a drawer or a closet or like an area of your home, your house, and then just like pulling everything in the center and then, you know, going through what is needed, what's not needed, and then reorganizing that. One room at a time, one drawer at a time, one shelf at a time, one cupboard. It doesn't have to be the entire house at once, but I do feel like if you're not moving house, then it's a time to organize. I love how it talks about being a kind leader. You're literally shown here as the Queen of Wands of how can I release and let go of these energies by owning it, taking responsibility for who you are. This is who I am, not hiding your shadow, and just holding your crown up high. With the full moon in Cancer, nobody loves like a Cancer. Cancers are very emotional and they love wholeheartedly. I'm wondering if there is forgiveness that you need to offer to somebody. Perhaps you've been wounded or hurt and you might be holding a grudge. And forgiveness is more about you than it is about them. So if you need to forgive somebody for hurting you in the past, and then just being able to let go and move past that. You don't need to carry that wound with you forever. You might even need to apologize to somebody else. Perhaps you may have been a bit harsh with your words or said something that would have been better left unsaid. Perhaps an apology is needed. But I do feel like when you let go of this, when you embrace your shadow, you're going to be able to rise above whatever it was that was trying to keep you small, that was trying to hold you back. So pile one, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye. Hello, pile two. If you have selected this stone, this reading is for you. Card number one. How can I stay grounded? Here we have the Three of Cups. I feel like this is surrounding yourself with your closest circle of people. This would be like your A-team, and just having a good time, letting loose and having some fun, whatever that means to you. How can I remain in my power? Here we have the Page of Wands in the reverse. The pages are a very youthful, childlike energy, and I feel like this card is saying, remember who you are, not to fall into your immaturity, to act your age and not your shoe size. How can I find my breath when I feel my temper flare? The Seven of Swords in the reverse. I really like this Seven of Swords because there's the lion cat and then there's this like lady cat over here. So I feel like when your temper starts to flare, if you don't keep your cool, you might lunge out too quickly and you will be giving away your power instead of reclaiming it. If you don't bide your time, and act with a calm, cool, level head. This lion, he's holding all the swords. You're not going to be able to reclaim your swords if you just jump out too quick. I see this candle over here. You know, it's still burning and it's on the floor. And it's like, did it fall because she moved too quickly? Like, was she awoken in the middle of the night? You know, and this is burning, you know, the lion's looking like, oh, what's going on over here? You still have swords, you know, power that you want to give me? And she's hiding. She's like, no, I'm not going to give you my power. I'm not going to lunge out just yet. I feel like this card is saying slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Don't just rush into it. Really bide your time. Think about what you're going to say and respond in a way that is going to bring about the best result. Card 4. How can I keep my cool when the people around me are not acting in accordance with their higher self? Like when they're over here, like going around disempowering people, you know, taking swords. How do I keep my cool? How do I act in a way that is slow and smooth and fast? By remembering you're the Queen of Pentacles. I love it. I love how this necklace is connected to this pentacle right here. And I feel like it's saying you're the queen. You're the Queen of Pentacles. Remember how much you have accomplished. Remember how much you have to be grateful for. And also knowing that you alone hold the keys to your kingdom. Depending on how you respond to this situation, will either ensure that you still walk away holding the keys to your kingdom, or you will hand it over and they will now hold the keys to your kingdom. They'll know what buttons to push. They'll know what to do to make you have a reaction. They will play you like a fiddle. Don't give away the keys to your kingdom. How can I have healthy conversations with others? Here we have the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. And I love this one because there's two people here. And I feel like he's showing off his beautiful garden. He's playing music in his garden. He's really tooting his own horn. And this card in the upright, it's being received well. She's like, ooh, I'm so impressed with your 7 pentacles growing in the garden. But in the reverse, I feel like this is saying don't brag. Don't toot your own horn right now. Like nobody cares what you got on your Black Friday sale. Nobody cares how much you paid for it. Keep that to yourself. Now is not the time to brag or boast about your physical possessions, items you've accumulated. If you bought those because they made you happy, then just enjoy them. Enjoy them because they made you happy, but don't talk about how much they were, how much you spent, your good deal that you got. Just enjoy it. You don't need to share it. You don't need to post about it on social media. What is no longer serving me? Here we have the 5 of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so instead of being this person, I feel like you're this person over here. This person is telling the one on the floor, like, hey, well, they're not people, they're cats. But this cat's like, hey, you know what, like, snap out of it. You still have 2 perfectly good cups. You know, he's very theatrical, and to me, he reminds me of an opera singer. And this person's like not having it. Like, nope, I just want to sit here and cry about my 3 lost cups, and I'm not ready to move past it. I feel like you're wasting your time on this cat. Whoever it is that you're trying to help, that you're trying to get out of their slump, there's something that you're like holding up these cups, like, this is what you have, this is what you have, this is what you can still achieve. You know, this is what you, like, you got this, come on, snap out of it. I feel like this is no longer serving you. This person's not in a place, and the more you repeat it, the deafer this person becomes. It's like talking to a brick wall. It's time to let this person be. Leave them over here with their spilled cups. It's time to move on. How can I release and let go of these energies, these attachments? Ooh, 8 of Pentacles. Okay, pile 2, either working on your own skills, doing a hobby that you really enjoy, focusing on your work, or I'm really drawn to how there's a bunch of other cats, and like she's teaching these cats new tricks. Maybe there's other people around who want to learn what you have to offer. They want to learn a new trick. They want to learn a new skill. So either you're working on your own skills, your own things that make you happy, or if you are like a teacher type of person, you know, like you have other people who will be way more receptive and who will enjoy learning from you. You're wasting your time over here. When I release these energies, these attachments, this may become available to me. 9 of Swords. This person looks like a speaker to me, like an orator, somebody, perhaps a professor, somebody who's giving a lecture, some sort of speech maybe. I feel like this is an intellectual person who has a problem. They have something that is just blocking them. They're not able to move past something, and she's just like beating her head on the book, like, why can't I break through? You know, and I feel like maybe you're going to level up in your teaching. Maybe you're going to level up in your circle, or maybe you're going to level up in your type of client that you're going to be getting. But I feel like you're going to move on from like being totally stonewalled, like, oh, I just can't reach this person, to a bunch of energetic people, right? You put your focus here, and then you have your level up moment, where you're going to get somebody of high caliber who wants to come to you for help. You're going to be able to really help this person with their block and move past it. This next card is advice from the tarot. Here we have the 5 of Wands. Here we have all of these people. There's a lot of emotion. And there's so much chaos and confusion. Like, is this person drowning with the stick? Is he falling? Are they all fighting over this cat in the bed? Or are you so used to chaos that you're always on edge? This cat's not sleeping peacefully with eyes closed. The eyes are open and the jaw is out. It reminds me of those depictions of like the fighting Irish, you know, with the jaw out, ready to brawl. You know, the chin is jutted out. And I feel like you're always on guard. You're always hyper vigilant. You're always hyper aware. And maybe it's because of your past. I don't know. But instead of like always just being on alert, maybe your past has made you hyper aware. Maybe you notice things that other people don't notice. And maybe that's why you're so good at helping people. Maybe that has allowed you to achieve so much. But also, that may be why you become easily triggered and resort to immaturity when you don't need to. What makes you want to lash out and give away your power? I feel like you can draw upon your past experiences, your past struggles, your past, chaotic experiences, and you can help other people overcome theirs, but only if they want to be helped. Only if they want to move past it. You can't help those who are unwilling, those who don't want to move out of this place. Where is she? Right here. Let's see what your oracle card has to say. This card says, you are enough. Full moon and Virgo. Virgos are the wounded healer. They're always trying to help other people, and they do draw upon their own past experiences. So I'm actually not surprised to see a Virgo right here. Let's see, full moon and Virgo. What does this card have to say? Oops, I passed it. Okay. Full moon and Virgo. It's time to be really honest with yourself and understand what's led you to ask your question. Have you been humble to the point of being self-effacing? Humility is good, but it can go too far. And drawing this card suggests you may be underrating yourself. You don't have to be flash, just quietly certain that you are good enough. I feel like that's what's coming up over here too. Like, you don't need to flash what you have. You're quietly good enough. At the other end of the scale, you also need to honestly answer this question. Have you been too picky? The full moon in Virgo card needs some truthful answers. Once you've given them, it should be easier to see how you got where you are. Your next step should then be more obvious to you. Pay attention to the details. Hard work brings results. Attune to the moon. Find a balance between the cosmic and the mundane in your daily life. I feel like that's being represented here. Really enjoying what you do. And also making sure that you're having time to play and have fun with the people that you love, your friends. It has additional meanings for this card, which may or may not fit into your situation. Worrying too much will attract more things to worry about. Have you been overly critical? An apology may be in order. Stop second-guessing yourself. And raise your karma by doing something good for someone else. I feel like that's what you've really been trying to do here with this person, but they're not having it. And I feel like you need to do that with somebody else. The full moon in Virgo is a time to declutter your life, your home and office. It's the time to sort what's good in your life from what's not serving you. It's also the time to clear out your energies via salt baths and meditations, and time to practice getting more grounded by walking barefoot. No matter when you draw this card, it's a reminder that any time is a good time to start living a healthier life. So healthier can be anything like your diet, your fitness activity level. It can also be the people who you surround yourself with in your life. So the way that I think that this card is mainly tying into your life would just be like with that wounded healer Virgo vibe going on. That you are good enough. Don't beat yourself up if you couldn't reach one. That's okay. Even the best fishermen don't catch everything. It's you tried, and you've got to let it go. Maybe that person will come back around when they're ready. They'll know that, hey, you know what? This person was there for me for so long. Maybe I'll reach out. Maybe they won't, but maybe they will. But I feel like it doesn't mean you have to give up. Just continue working with those who enjoy it, or doing something that you really love. Maybe you need to take a time out and have some playtime, doing your own hobby. And then that's something that may open up to you. Being able to level up, helping someone with a big problem, someone who's very serious and who will take that advice because they want to get through this blockage, because they've got a job to do. So pile 2, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you have selected this stone, this reading is for you. Card number 1. How can I stay grounded? Here we have the Tower in the reverse. I feel like this card is saying you may have had one of those massive oh shit moments, those oh shit times in your life. Everything comes crashing down and kind of feeling like your foundation was swept right out from under your feet. But this card is saying that has already passed. You're in this life raft. Kind of looks like an armchair, but I'm going to call it a life raft. You're in the life raft and you're not going to drown. The water will recede and you won't be floating forever. Card 2. How can I remain in my power? Here we have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. By understanding that, yes, you are probably going through a bit of bad luck at the moment. But again, this wheel is ever changing. It's always spinning, and nobody knows when your fate is going to change. It just happens. And eventually you're going to be sitting back up on top of this wheel again. Just right now, times are hard. But it's not going to be like this forever. You're doing the best that you can. Don't lose faith. How can I find my breath when my temper flares? Maybe you think about the past, about the way things went down, this bit of bad luck you're having, and you start getting angry. It's understandable. You're human. So let's see. How do we find our breath? The 3 of Wands. I really feel like he's pointing to the flowers. I feel like he's saying, find the beauty despite your situation. These wands are blossoming. And I feel like this card is saying, just continue to put yourself out there. I don't know what that means to you. I don't know if that's like work related. I don't know if that's in like the romance department. I don't know if that's like in family, friends area. I'm not really too sure what that's pertaining to, but it's like those are his ships and he's putting them out there. You know, continue to put yourself out there, and really maybe he's saying like put your best face forward, you know. I feel like it's like beautiful, like finding positive in your situation. I'm also really drawn to his dress. I mean, not like a dress, but just the way he's dressed. It's a tuxedo, and it reminds me of something my father-in-law used to say. He used to say, you don't put a tuxedo on a turd. Okay? Don't be a turd in a tuxedo. So like when your temper starts to flare, you know, you're already in your tuxedo. Even though like it may be tattered, it may be like a little dirty or whatever, like you're literally in your tuxedo. Don't be a shit. Don't be a turd in a tuxedo. You can still put your beauty out into the world. You can still put who you are on the inside out into the world. Don't be a turd in a tuxedo. How can I keep my cool when the people around me are not acting in accordance with their higher self? Here we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, so when you open your mouth, you're literally going to be bringing a message into the world. So what kind of message are you going to bring? Is it going to be a message of hope, of love, of understanding? Or is it going to be a message of like, the world sucks, my life sucks, I have bad luck, you know, are you going to be focusing on the negative? I feel like this card is saying, like this river is coming down. Like those are your interactions with people, you know, and it's not like a massive river. It's more like a stream. You know, you can cross it. You can bridge it. When people are not acting in accordance with their higher selves, you know, you can still bring forth your message. And if they don't want to hear it, you know, then you just carry your message across that river and you keep going, you keep moving forward until you find somebody who is responsive to your message, who does want to hear what you have to say. And you're putting your best face forward. That's what you're sending out. You're finding that inner beauty and you're sending that out into the world. You're still deciding to show up. How can I have healthy conversations with others? Here we have the world. Conversations with others. Okay, so this could literally be like the world. How are you presenting yourself? Again, going back to this card, the Three of Wands. How are you presenting yourself to the world? How are your social media posts? How are your comments? How do you look at people from other cultures, from other walks of life? How do you speak to them? I feel like this card is saying everybody wants the same thing. Everybody wants to move through this. It's supposed to be a wreath, but it looks like a mirror. You know, everybody wants to walk through this mirror and be transported to this magical place. This place with swirling energy and magic and love. And just understanding that like, we all want the same thing. And how can you, again, bring forth that beauty into the world? Moving forward toward that goal. I feel like this would be a card about talking about like the future and not so much dwelling in the past. What is no longer serving me? Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. I'm wondering if you lost some way of life, perhaps a family, a relationship, perhaps a job that was providing you with stability. There may have been a financial loss. I feel like dwelling here, like focusing on what used to be is no longer serving you. Whether that's a relationship with a romantic partnership or like family, but it very well could be like a steady job, a steady income of some sort, possessions. How can I release and let go of these energies and attachments? Seven of Wands in the reverse. Normally this cat has the high ground and he's able to defend himself from this position, from this stronghold. But with this card being in the reverse, I feel like that's not sustainable anymore. You have to let that go. And maybe that's where while you're in this tower moment, you know, you lost it and you're feeling like, oh, my luck. And you really want to hold on to this way of life, the way that things used to be so bad. But this card would be suggesting that, you know what? It's time to admit defeat. You have to let that go. At least for now. When I release these energies and these attachments, this may be available to me. Here we have the Emperor in the reverse. I feel like this would be a newfound freedom. I feel like this would be less responsibility, less to worry about, less to maintain, less to take care of. And I feel like there's going to be a softening, perhaps even a softening around the heart. This is advice from the tarot. Here we have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. I feel like this card is saying that you're going to have to reinvent yourself. But you're going to be starting from scratch. You may not be the person you once were, the person before the Tower, but it doesn't look bad. You might not be the Emperor, you know, but like the Page of Pentacles, he looks like he's sitting pretty. He looks like he does all right for himself. And I just want to point out that it's a pentacle. Like, this is real world stuff. I feel like you've got to let go of what you used to have. Just completely let it, like, yes, I lost that. I lost that. I'm releasing my grip on this. I don't have to try to hold it together anymore. You know, I don't have to try to make these ends meet or make this person happy or whatever the situation is. I don't have to keep all my shit together. It's okay to just let it go, and I'm not diminishing it in any way or making light of it. But this card is saying to start again. And I love this little single flower over here. I feel like that's hope. This card says a fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. It's possible that this Tower event has not happened yet. Let's see what this card has to say. Full moon in Aries. It's time to see if you've been a little too much me. There's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants. But you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have done. If you know deep down that you've been a little rash or harsh, gone too fast or overstepped the mark, then accept that on some level, you've created this situation yourself, which means you can create your way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming and it could be fiery. Attuned to the moon. This card says be kind, smile, and be polite as you navigate to where you want to be. I feel like that's what this card is saying here with the Three of Wands and how he's just pointing to the flower. And I feel like that's like the ship that you're sending out. You know, it's positivity. Not being a turd in the tuxedo. Additional meanings for this card. Being assertive is good. Just don't ride roughshod over anyone. I feel like that's something the Emperor would do. If you're in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. Don't be a baby. Sorry, but this could be the issue. I don't feel like being a baby, you know, but I feel like it could be like really feeling down and being upset over the Tower situation and this bit of bad luck. Really like wanting to cling to this, the way that things were, you know. And then it's also saying that you need to have some more fun. Whatever that means to you. Despite your situation, there's always room for fun. The full moon in Aries is a super fiery time when emotions can run very high. On the upside, there's excitement about what may lie ahead, but tempers are likely to flare. With rash comments or decisions, no matter when you pull this card, it signals that the situation has just or is about to come to a peak, perhaps in a rather heated way. There could be a price to pay if you have been too competitive or too blunt. So perhaps this Tower card is a warning. For some of you, it may have already happened, but for some of you, it might be a warning that this could happen if you lose your cool. Okay. One thing I also want to point out is that Aries are not quitters. Aries love to do things, and they love to do things well. Once they get like set on a goal, you know, like they're just going to run full speed. They've got these ram horns, you know, and they're just going to tackle headfirst, you know, any obstacle that comes in their path. And I feel like if you have already had your tower moment, you know, you're not going to let anything stop you. Once you finally come to terms that, you know what, I lost it. You know what I mean? I let these wands go. And you're softening in your approach. You relinquish your control over that. Like, you're like, you know what? Like, this is something I couldn't control. And now I'm going to start over. But once you got your eye on the prize, you're just going to go. You know, you're just going to charge forward. Aries reminds me of Achilles. People like Achilles, you know, like he didn't always know where he was going. Sometimes he got sent to lands he had never seen. Maybe he's never even heard of them before, but he went, you know, and he just did what he did. He was a badass, you know, and I feel like, you know, you were the emperor. You know, you're a badass too. And you can rebuild, you can recreate yourself. But I feel like these cards are just saying, you know what? To do it with love, to find your own inner beauty, and that's what you're putting out into the world. If it's focused only on the superficial, that's probably not going to do you well. You're moving into a new phase, and things can't just be focused on financial possessions or superficial bullshit. So pile 3, that does conclude your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.